Imagine standing in front of a man who can see right through you. Not metaphorically. Literally, you are looking into the eyes of a living saint, a man who bears the bleeding wounds of Christ on his hands. You have just asked him the most terrifying question a human being can ask. Where is my Father? You are expecting comfort. You are expecting a platitude. You are expecting to hear, he's in a better place. But Padre Pio doesn't do platitudes. He looks at you with eyes that have seen heaven and hell, and he tells you the cold, hard truth. He is not in heaven. He is suffering. This actually happened. This is the story of a saint who looked past the veil of death, saw the soul of a father in agony, and launched a rescue mission from the physical world. It is a story that terrifies us. But ultimately, it is a story that should give us hope, because it answers the question that keeps us awake at night. When we die, are we gone? Or are we just waiting? But before we get to the vision that shattered a son's heart, we have to understand the man who had it. To call Padre Pio a priest is like calling a hurricane a breeze. It's technically true, but it misses the point entirely. Francesco Forgione, born in the dusty farmland of Pietrelcina in 1887, was never normal. While other kids were playing tag, he was fighting demons. Literally, his mother spoke of a child who lived with 1 foot in our world and 1 foot in the next. He spoke to his guardian angel like you would speak to a neighbor. He saw Jesus, he saw Mary, and he saw things that were much, much darker. By the time he donned the brown robes of the Capuchin friars, he was a spiritual anomaly. He became the first priest in the history of the Church to bear the stigmata, the physical, bleeding wounds of the crucifixion. For 50 years, his hands and feet bled. Doctors studied them. Skeptics analyzed them. No infection, no healing, just fresh blood every single day. But the physical wounds were just the billboard for the spiritual reality. This man had zero filter between the natural and the supernatural. He could be in 2 places at once, by location. He could smell sin, literally, a foul stench that overwhelmed him when an unrepentant sinner approached. And most terrifying of all, he could see the dead. He didn't view purgatory as a theological textbook definition. To him, it was a crowded room. He once told a fellow friar that he saw more souls coming up the mountain from purgatory to ask for prayers than he saw living people coming to attend Mass. Think about that ratio. The dead outnumbered the living. He wasn't guessing about the afterlife. He was reporting on it. And that brings us to Damiano Fucci. Damiano was a local boy, a kid from Pietrelcina, who grew up in the shadow of the saint. He idolized Pio. He eventually followed in his footsteps, joining the order and taking the name Brother Modestino. He loved Padre Pio like a father. But he also had a biological father he adored. And one day, the unthinkable happened. Brother Modestino's father had visited the monastery, made his confession to the saint, and asked a strange question. "Father, when will we see each other again?" Padre Pio's answer was cryptic. He said, "We will see each other again in the afterlife." It was a death sentence disguised as a farewell. The very next morning, the news broke. Brother Modestino's father had suffered a massive stroke in the night. Dead. Gone. Just like that. The grief was suffocating. But mixed with the grief was panic. Brother Modestino knew that Padre Pio could see the truth. So he ran to the saint. He needed reassurance. He needed to know his father was safe. He found Pio, looked him in the eye, and asked the question, "Father, is he in heaven?" The air must have left the room. Padre Pio didn't smile. He didn't pat him on the back. He looked at Brother Modestino with that intense, piercing gaze and delivered the verdict. He was the son of guilt. He has to serve his sentence. He was the son of guilt. Let those words sink in. It wasn't a condemnation to hell, thank God, but it was a confirmation of suffering. His father was in purgatory. He was in the fire of purification. Most people would crumble at that news, but Brother Modestino was a friar. He knew how the economy of grace worked. He didn't collapse, he negotiated. He asked, "Father, can I tell my family to have the Gregorian Masses celebrated for him?" And suddenly, the saint's demeanor changed. The urgency ramped up. "If your family is in a position to do it," Pio said, "just say it. Do it." It wasn't a suggestion. It was a prescription. It was emergency medicine for a soul in critical condition. Now pause. You need to understand what they were talking about. Gregorian masses aren't just extra prayers. This is the heavy artillery of Catholic intercession. It dates back to the 6th century, to Pope Gregory the Great. The tradition is specific. 30 masses, 30 consecutive days. No breaks. No skipping a day. It comes from a story where Pope Gregory ordered this for a deceased monk named Justus. After 30 days, Justus appeared, shining, announcing his release from the flames. This is what Brother Modestino was invoking. He rushed back to Pietrelcina. He rallied his family. They paid the stipends. The masses began. But Modestino didn't stop there. He turned his own life into a sacrificial offering. He was the almsgatherer for the friary, which meant he had to walk for miles, knocking on doors, begging for food and money for the community. It was humiliating, exhausting work. And he offered every single step, every drop of sweat, every door slammed in his face for the soul of his father. He was paying the debt with his own suffering. He waited. The 30 days passed. The prayers were said. The sacrifices were made. And then the message came. Padre Pio didn't deliver it in person this time. He sent it through another friar, like a spiritual telegram. The message was short, brutal, and beautiful. Tell Fra Modestino that his father is safe. He was saved by his prayers and his intentions. Now he is in heaven. Done. The sentence was served. The debt was paid. The prisoner was free. It is a stunning confirmation that what we do here, on this side of the dirt, actually matters to the people on the other side. We aren't helpless. We have leverage. And this wasn't a one-off event. If you dig into the archives of San Giovanni Rotondo, you find that Padre Pio was basically running a way station for the dead. One of the most bone-chilling stories involves a winter night in the friary. Padre Pio was sitting by the fireplace, praying, when he looked up and saw an old man sitting next to him. Now the doors were locked. The windows were shut. There was no way in. Padre Pio didn't scream. He simply asked, "Who are you? What do you want?" The man turned and said, "I am Pietro di Mauro. I died in this friary on September 18th, 1908, in cell number 4. I fell asleep with a lighted cigar. The mattress caught fire, and I burned to death. I am still in purgatory. I need a holy mass to be freed." Look at the specificity, the date, the cell number, the cause of death. Padre Pio promised him the mass. The next morning, he celebrated it. But being a man of due diligence, he went to the town hall records. He pulled the file for September 1908. And there it was. Pietro di Mauro died in a fire, exactly as the ghost had said. This wasn't a hallucination. It was a visitation. Another time, he saw a friar cleaning the altar at night. Pio told him to go to bed. The friar replied, "I am a deceased brother. I am doing my purgatory here because I was irreverent in this church during my life." Pio promised a mass the next morning. The soul screamed out a single word: cruel. Why? Because the morning seemed so far away when you are burning with the desire for God. He vanished. So what do we do with this? It's easy to treat these as spooky campfire stories, but they aren't. They are data points. They are evidence. They tell us that purgatory isn't a Catholic invention to control people. It is the washroom of heaven. It is where the mud of the journey is scrubbed off, so we can enter the wedding feast. Padre Pio's life teaches us that the bond of love doesn't snap when the heart stops beating. The communion of saints isn't a poetic phrase. It's an active network. Brother Modestino's father was saved because his son refused to give up on him. His son understood that he could send care packages of grace across the divide. The lesson here is urgent. You have people you love who have died. Maybe you worry about them. Maybe you regret things left unsaid. Padre Pio is telling you it's not too late. The conversation isn't over. Your prayers, your sacrifices, your masses, they are the currency of their liberation. Do not leave them fighting their battles alone. If this story struck a chord in you, don't just click away. Take 5 seconds, right now. Say the prayer. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord.
Eternal rest
It's a
grant
small
unto
sentence
them.
for you, but it might be the drop of water a thirsty soul in purgatory is desperate for. We are all connected,
Join us.
the living and the dead. And sometimes if we listen closely enough, we can hear them asking for help.